everyone, my name is Ms.Sherry A Singh and welcome to Career Launcher. Wish you all a very happy new year, and in this new year I hope that every dream of yours come true and every wish of yours get fulfilled. And in your endeavor, Career Launcher IS is always there for you. So in the part of our consistent endeavor to offer you the bouquet of videos which are very important for your understanding for every subject, today we are going to understand about the Circum-Pacific Ring of Fire. I think we have discussed about it, that we are going to see about the Circum-Pacific Ring of Fire in detail when we were talking about current affairs part 1. So before we land on to the slides, let's try to analyze on board certain things so that the coming concepts will be very easy for you. Have a look at the board. You will see that 2 arrows are there, and in order to save our time I have already prepared some diagrams. So 2 arrows, they are coming close to each other. That means 2 things, they are coming close. They are what? Converging. Now when this converging will happen, one thing is that these 2 will break. It's like fighting, right? That these 2 things, they will break down, they will collapse. The other possibility is that the debris which may be inside between both of them, it can rise. Now this is the reason behind the formation of Himalayas, and also why Himalayas are young fold mountains and why Aravallis are old fold mountains. Every detail will come to you in the coming video about folding and faulting, but for the while we have to understand that this is also convergence, and because of convergence we have created some structure. Something has come up, 2 things colliding with each other, consistent collision is happening, and the material, the debris between, it has risen to a very high level. Now again convergence is going on, but now there is one plate or one thing which is very heavy. What will happen when they are colliding with each other? There was complete breakage. Over here something happened, that new structure has been risen, but in this case what will happen? There will be subduction. Now these zones are known as subduction zones. The heavier one will tend to go down. So in this fighting what will happen? एक बंदा बोलेगा जो थोड़ा heavy था, जिससे resist नहीं हो पाया, that heavy one will fall, or you can say will subdue in front of this one. Now these 3 cases were the primarily cases of convergence, and because of convergence there are fold mountains which I want you to keep in your mind, because we are going to understand about Appalachians, about Himalayas, about Aravallis, that why they are fold mountains, right? Now divergence is going to happen. Because of divergence would refer to that you are going apart. Look at my hands, they are going back. Even in this case some debris may come up or may get down. Block mountains, they are the result of divergence, right? Or they are going back, there will be the outer expansion of the other material as well. That is also the possibility, that some inner material, let's say the magma, it can also come out. That means that divergence also give rise to new landforms and also the block mountains. Faulting, folding and transverse fault, everything I'll discuss, but for the while, for today, you have to keep your understanding up to this level, because this is the basic level, and then we will be getting on to the advanced one. Now coming to this diagram, which is like showing you some cyclic movement, it is basically I have drawn as convectional current. I'm not writing anywhere high pressure, low pressure, because I want you to be devoid of any confusion of high and low. Simply understand that convectional current or the movement of convection is always like this, circular. What is advection? Advection is the horizontal movement of air. So whenever trade winds, they are the result of advectional current, right? Or any wind is an advectional movement, whereas convection is like cyclic. Getting more on to the details of it, understand one thing. Because something is moving, in a circular motion, energy will be there. Energy is the driving force behind every phenomena which is occurring in the nature, so is in geography. Imagine if you keep something over here, don't you think with this cyclic movement, this thing will also move? Yes, because it is generating a current. That is why we call it as a convection current. So this current will have the capacity, this circular movement will have the capacity to move anything which has been placed atop. That is why your car moves. The wheels, they move, therefore the car, which is the body, it moves in the direction where you want. Right, so this is a simple understanding. Now let's get on to our Circum-Pacific Ring of Fire. The first is map of Ring of Fire. As you can see, Circum-Pacific, because it is situated in Pacific Ocean, not in Atlantic Ocean. You can get some questions about it. So it's like a ring of fire, a ring, a circum, but not a complete ring, half ring. Can we see it is almost covering complete North America and again South America. It is moving in this direction, and also some parts of here in Philippines, in Japan, and also the other areas. Now what happened, there was one person, his name was Alfred Wegener. So it is a very famous theory of Wegener. Wegener said that it was not like the earth or the continents we are having now, it was like in the beginning. In the beginning, the story went that it was a super earth. All the continents, the landmass, it was conjoined. Everything was associated with each other. So that is Pangea, as you can see, it is super earth. But with the passage of time, certain things happened because of which we are getting today's continents. Country like India is there, we are having subcontinent Asia, we have Asian complete continent. But how come today we have got such kind of land masses, and how come we are having oceans like Atlantic Ocean and Pacific Ocean? So the story goes back to the plate tectonic theory. The plate tectonic theory says that Earth's outer shell is divided into several plates. Plate would refer to something like this. So some name was to be given to the crust. So this is name as given as a plate. The theory which is associated with the movement of the plate is known as plate tectonic theory. So into several plates that glide over the mantle, the more clarity will come just within a while. The rocky inner layer above the core. The plates, they act like a hard and rigid shell compared to Earth's mantle. So mantle it consists of asthenosphere as well. There are 9 major plates according to World Atlas. These plates are named after the landforms which are being found on them. The 9 major plates are North American, Pacific, Eurasian, African, Indo-Australian, Indian, South American, and Antarctic. So all these names, you can get some question about it. तो इसको हमको याद करना है. We have to memorize them. Now these are the plates. Can you see plates are not very close to the borders of the continents. So they are located, right? For example, between South American plate and African plate, can you see some lines, zigzag lines are being drawn? So these all zigzag lines are basically plates. So what are plates? These are like some sort of shelves. आप ये मान लो कि इनके ऊपर कुछ है, कुछ हो रहा है. There is some tectonic activity which is going underneath. And because of this tectonic activity, कुछ move होगा, कुछ चलेगा, तभी तो कोई activity होगी. That is why we have earthquakes, we have tsunami, because there is some हलचल, कोई दिक्कत आती है, कोई movement है. There are certain reverberations or vibrations which occur because of the landforms, which of these plates which are moving, and then some action happens on the Earth's surface. So Scotia plate, South American plate, Nazca plate, Cocos, Juan de Fuca, Caribbean, all these plates are very important. Now North American plate, South American plate is also there. Small plates are the Coco plate and the Caribbean plate. Now ocean floor, or you can see oceanic ridge. Can you see this thing? So the driving force behind plate tectonics is convection in the mantle. Hot material near the earth core rises and colder material sinks. So this movement happens, which I have shown you like this. There is a movement in the mantle, of which reason crust moves. Correct? So can you see this? More clarity will come now. Can you see the movement? Yes. So it is like this. Hot. Hot is rising, cold is sinking. Hot is rising, cold is sinking. Circular movement is created. Of this reason, what is happening? There is movement of the plates, which are above this area, above the mantle. So it's very hot. Heat generates energy. Now see, this is how these all plates, they are still moving, and this is how, because of this movement, we can say that today's world has been created. Today's all the continents, they have been created. So this is the reason why all the continents they have created, and if you try to see them in your atlas, they will give you a bit of image of jigsaw puzzle. Because one or the other way, either one land mass, it was attached or it was detached. So the movement of the land masses or the movement of the land because of the convectional current which is happening underneath, we have today's मैप एटलस. जो आज का एटलस आप देख रहे हैं वो इस कन्वेक्शनल करंट ये मूवमेंट की वजह से बना है, और टू पुट इट इनटू द बिकॉज ऑफ द टेक्टोनिक प्लेट्स थ्योरी. Still it is moving, but the pace of the movement of the plates is so slow that we cannot feel it. हमें तभी feel होता है whenever there is some volcanic eruption, whenever there is some earthquake. So then only we realize, we come to know, अच्छा अभी भी plate चल रही है. So this is the idea, right? So everybody is trying to either detach or to attach. Now if you try to put map of South America into the map of African continent, you will see that they will become one. So detachment happened over here. Detachment also took place between North America and present day Europe. And India, it went upward, right? So other things we'll be understanding more when we'll be discussing about the folding, faulting and other stuff. So for the while, this basic understanding is very important for us to have. Now, mid-oceanic ridge. Mid-ocean ridges are gaps between tectonic plates that mantle the earth-like seams on the baseball. Hot magma wells up at the ridges, forming new ocean crest and showing the plates apart. बहुत ही मुश्किल भाषा थी, but the concepts that we have already seen is very simple. Do you remember just in the beginning? That's why I've told you to see all those figures that I had drawn. Something can rise, diverging. They are going apart from each other and forming new ocean crust. So new material is coming, new crust has been formed. Correct? Yes. Let's have a map. Going apart, plates diverge at about 3 to 10 centimeter in year, and mid-oceanic ridges there in front of us. See in this diagram, oceanic ridges, plates they diverge. So ridges are created wherever the plates they diverge. Transform forth, the plates slide past each other. I am going, you are going, I am going, you are going. Subduction zone, we have seen plates converge. So subduction will happen whenever two plates they are coming close to each other. They are fighting, and after one because of owing to its weight, it will subdue. Subduction. Good? Yes. So it is a bit of glimpse at the subduction zone. As you can see, that one earthquake with that star, it has risen, subduction happened, earthquake, and now because of earthquake some movement has happened in the ocean, therefore there is tsunami. Earthquake and tsunami, they are closely associated because they are the products of what? Of plate tectonics. subducting plate, right? Locked interface fluids. Then you can see upper plate and the volcanic eruption is also there. Can you see subduction zone? Convergence, subduction, and the material it can come out. So at subduction zones, two tectonic plates meet and one slides beneath the other back into the mantle. एक तो वापस mantle में चला जाता है. The layer underneath the crust. So what is mantle? It is the layer which is underneath the crust. So because of mantle, because of the movement in mantle, the crust it moves. The cold sinking plate pulls the crust behind it downward. So whatever, when there is convergence, now subduction is going to happen. Subduction has happened. So it is again going back to mantle. What is going to, it is also going to bring with itself the crust it is already having atop. So what can happen over here? There will be some disturbance on the Earth's surface. Fine? Yes. Again, lithospheric mantle, continental crust, oceanic crust went downwards. I'm not using the words oceanic crust or continental crust because I want you to have the first basic understanding. Then we'll be getting on to all these terminology which has been also mentioned in your NCERTs. And in case if you find any doubt, I am there to help you out. Asthenosphere, lithosphere, even I'm not for the while using these words, or I'm not trying to explain you, because this I will explain you in our next series when we'll be understanding about folding, faulting and the formation of landforms. Okay, so transform fault at transform boundary, oceanic ridge is divergent boundary, and trench at convergent boundary. So I have converged, I have subdued, I'll create what? Deepest point on the earth, deepest point on the earth, because I'm going deep, deep, deep. So deep points will always be at the subduction zone, or they will be where there is convergence taking place, right? Divergent boundaries that we have seen, oceanic plate separation, mid oceanic ridges, अंदर की चीज बाहर को, spreading is happening, right? And then divergent plate, it is also sometimes आप अलग हो गए, दो चीजें अलग हो गई, बीच वाली चीज बैठ गई, block mountains, yes, Horst and Graben. Now we have to see what is Pacific Ring of Fire. The Pacific Ring of Fire is the term given to a U-shaped area that is almost forming a ring or a circle in the Pacific Ocean, expanding all the way from South America, North America to Eastern Asia, New Zealand and Australia. The stretch is approximately 40,000 kilometers from New Zealand all the way to West Pacific through the Philippines, Japan and Indonesia. Indonesia, very important. Covering parts of Bering Strait between Alaska and Russia and extending all the way to the west coast of North America and South America. This ring accounts for 452 volcanoes active and dormant, right? And it is widely known because of its seismic activity influenced by the numerous numbers of active volcanoes. 75% of all active and dormant volcanoes are found in the Pacific Ring of Fire, 75. So for this reason, the Pacific Ring of Fire has persisted to be an active volcano zone as well as an area which is very infamous for or very prone to earthquakes. So geologists, they say that violent volcanic activities in area is because the region is very close to numerous tectonic plates that are frequently subjected to subduction. So this area, the Circum-Pacific Ring of Fire, is closely associated with where? At the subduction zones, right? That you can see, Indonesia, Pacific Ring of Fire. So the main point is that Pacific Ring of Fire is an extensive chain of volcanoes and other tectonically active processes such as earthquake, ocean, trenches, fault zones closely encircling the Pacific Ocean. About 90% of the strongest volcanic eruptions and approximately 81% of the world's most damaging earthquakes have taken place along the Pacific Ring of Fire, and Japan is always prepared. It has that kind of infrastructure that it is always ready for any kind of earthquake or any disaster because it is in Pacific Ring of Fire. Can you see the map of trenches now? Aleutian Trench, Kuril Trench, Japan Trench, Tonga, Peru-Chile Trench, because this area, this complete area is situated at the subduction zone. So it is but obvious that we will find the deepest point of Earth in Pacific Ocean. The trenches. Any doubt that we have? We should not have any doubt for the basics for the while. So guys, this is over. It was very simple understanding, and I hope most of our doubts about convergence, divergence, subduction and Pacific Ring of Fire are over. Still, if any doubt is there, you can simply share it with me at sherry.singh@careerlauncher.com. Thank you, have fun, and do not miss your studies at all. Thank you.